Alexandre Daigle is still considered one of the greatest mysteries in NHL history. He was the clear #1 draft pick, a player talked about just like Sidney Crosby or Connor McDavid, who were able to transform entire clubs and jumpstart their success. But with the Ottawa Senators and Alex Daigle, that was certainly not the case. He was supposed to be the face of the league, and instead, he suddenly vanished. His career resembled a roller coaster, something the hockey world had never known before and will likely never see again. You might be asking yourself now, how could something like this happen? In the junior leagues, he was dominating, or rather destroying, because what he was showing was absolutely incredible. And believe me, the numbers speak for themselves. In 119 games, he collected 247 points. That is an average of more than 2 points per game. You might say he did not adapt, but in his first season in the NHL, he collected 51 points. So, what actually happened? Was it his own fault? What role did the team play in it? And why did he have to take a full year off from hockey? We will look at all of that in today's video. After the Ottawa Senators' first season in the NHL, which ended with a disastrous record of 10 wins, 70 losses, and 4 ties, the club secured the first pick in an exceptionally loaded draft of 1993. That included names like Alexandre Daigle, Chris Pronger, or Paul Kariya, and that first pick was supposed to be the spark for the Senators to pull them out of the very bottom. Alexandre Daigle, a Quebec native, was considered the savior of the entire club, and Ottawa reached for him without hesitation. The expectations surrounding him resembled the frenzy we experienced many years later with Connor McDavid. Even before entering the National Hockey League, he had phenomenal numbers. With the Victoriaville Tigers in the Canadian Junior League, he scored 80 goals. He added 167 assists, which totaled an incredible 247 points in 119 games. And that is not all. In the Hull Valley, Lac-Argentide jersey, he managed to collect 110 points in 42 games. In total, he surpassed the 300-point mark over 3 seasons, which attracted enormous attention. But Daigle did not just have amazing numbers. His game combined tremendous speed and skilled hands, which gave him an advantage over his opponents. Scouts from clubs like San Jose or Quebec were literally fighting over him, seeing him as a player who could follow in the footsteps of legends like Mario Lemieux or Wayne Gretzky. Bob Clark, the Flyers' general manager at the time, said of him, "Daigle is the best junior I have ever seen play." Ottawa saw him as the cornerstone to build the whole team around, and Daigle himself had huge expectations for himself. Despite his undeniable talent, looks that added to his popularity, and a demeanor that made him a star off the ice, no one could have predicted what happened before the draft. He was a scoring sensation in junior hockey, but the transition to the National Hockey League proved to be much harder. In his rookie season for Ottawa, he scored a solid 20 goals and 31 assists, which are not bad numbers at all for a newcomer. For comparison, Connor McDavid had 16 goals and 32 assists in his first season. But Daigle's start was quickly overshadowed by the huge problems of Ottawa itself. As a rookie in the league, the team finished with a dismal record of 14 wins, 61 losses, and 9 ties, meaning only 37 points. In such conditions, it was hard for anyone to truly succeed without a solid foundation. In the shortened 1994-95 season, affected by the lockout, Daigle recorded a solid 37 points in 47 games. Still, he lacked stronger support from his teammates and had to rely mainly on Alexei Yashin for offense. During that time, he also briefly returned to the Victoriaville Tigers, where he recalled his junior days. In 18 games, he scored 14 goals and added 20 assists, but his following season in the National Hockey League brought even greater obstacles. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe. You won't miss any new videos, and it helps me a lot. Thanks. In the 1995-96 season, Alexandre Daigle's career began to decline rapidly. His productivity dropped to just 17 points in 50 games, and Senators fans were becoming increasingly dissatisfied. The style that made him famous in the junior leagues seemed to vanish in the National Hockey League, and his play felt lackluster. Many speculated that his massive $12.5 million contract may have lowered his drive to perform at his best on the ice. The situation was made even worse by tension with teammate Alexei Yashin. The Russian center was convinced that his productivity earned him a similarly high contract, but Ottawa's management could not afford it due to their financial situation. Yashin's frustration was so great that he sat out the entire season in protest. During that time, there were also changes to the coaching staff. Head coach Rick Bowness and assistant Alain Vigneault were fired. Daigle's problems resulted in a move to the fourth line, which clearly showed that his once huge potential was starting to fade, and the Senators no longer had as much faith in him. Beyond his problems on the ice, his reputation worsened off it as well. One of the most famous incidents, known as the bomb incident, occurred on September 25th, 1996, after a preseason game. Aboard a plane in Pittsburgh, preparing for departure to Tampa, Daigle made an inappropriate joke about a bomb. When the flight attendant asked the Senators' scout to put away his laptop, Daigle joked, "Trevor, watch out for your bomb." The flight attendant and the rest of the crew were terrified, and airport authorities intervened immediately. Daigle was escorted off the plane, causing a 45-minute delay for a search and questioning. He was fined for his inappropriate joke, further damaging his reputation in Ottawa and the entire National Hockey League. By 1998, the Senators decided to end their partnership with Daigle and trade him to the Philadelphia Flyers. From there, his career began to decline sharply. Philadelphia soon sent him to Edmonton, who soon sent him to Tampa Bay. The Senators bet on Daigle, but the experiment failed. The club's management was fired, and the team they tried to build remained burdened by a player whose lack of motivation and professionalism completely dashed high expectations. Daigle's NHL career was short. At 25, he left the league after a brief stint with the New York Rangers in the year 2000. He ended a career full of disappointment. His lackluster performances often made it seem like he was more interested in Hollywood than hockey. After the 1999 to 2000 season, during which he spent most of his time in the minor leagues, Alexandre Daigle took a break from the National Hockey League. In 2002, he returned, claiming he had rediscovered his passion for hockey. At that point, discussions began about how this time it might be different and he could potentially turn his career around. The Pittsburgh Penguins placed their hopes in him for the 2002 to 2003 season, but his performances were a disappointment. He scored only 7 points in 33 games before being released the following season. A brief revival came in Minnesota during the 2003 to 2004 season, when he tied his career high of 51 points, which suggested a return to form. Unfortunately, the subsequent National Hockey League lockout ruined another season and gradually limited his potential. While stars like Ilya Kovalchuk or Rick Nash managed to adapt to the new style by working on their defensive game, Daigle never committed to a similar change. Teams were therefore hesitant to invest in a player who seemed to lack real interest and did not want to give his all on the ice. After the 2005-2006 season, during which he collected 28 points in 46 games for Minnesota, Alexandre left the NHL. He spent the next few seasons in Europe, mostly with Swiss team HC Davos, and officially ended his professional hockey career in 2010. So what actually happened to Daigle? How did a player who was supposed to be like today's Connor McDavid become such a huge disappointment? To understand this, we must go back to his junior days. Although he was a scoring machine, NHL scouts overlooked one key thing back then. He lacked a true passion and enthusiasm for hockey. Later, Daigle admitted that he struggled with depression and often wondered how different his career could have been if he had received the necessary support. As he himself said, "After games, I often started crying unexpectedly." Back then, the suck-it-up mentality was everywhere, and people often told me to just pull myself together because sports psychologists didn't exist and mental health was a taboo subject. I became the face of the team and felt responsible for everything, yet I had no one to help me navigate this new role. Daigle's story shows how huge expectations and media pressure can affect young players. Daigle entered the league with the talent and expectation that he would become the next Mario Lemieux, but he ultimately failed to meet those expectations. His case remains a unique example in the National Hockey League. The problems were largely the result of his own decisions and a loss of motivation. On the other hand, had Daigle received the support he needed as a young player, perhaps the fate of the Ottawa Senators would look completely different. And so ends the shocking story of the fall of Alexandre Daigle. If you enjoyed this video, I would be very happy if you subscribed and checked out the next video, which you can see on your screen right now. Thanks, and see you next time. Bye.